morning, this is Maggie Wolken with EDL 854, Module 12. Section 1, Summarizing the Case. Mr. Santos is the principal at Briardell Elementary School. The school relies on the foundation to raise money to support its supplementary curriculum programs. In this district, there are at least two different elementary schools. Mr. Barely is selected to be the foundation leader at Briardell Elementary School, while Mr. Morley is the foundation leader at another elementary school within the district. Mr. Barely and Mr. Morley do have a past, as they did run against one another for office in college. Mr. Barely plans and communicates a fundraiser event that is projected to be very successful. However, on the night of the raffle, the sheriff shows up, takes Mr. Barely down to the station. Mr. Barely is booked and released with a misdemeanor for his role in a raffle for cash event. Section 2. Report any legal or ethical issues. Has anyone been harmed by the action or decision of another one? Yes, the reputation of Mr. Barely, Mr. Santos, and others associated with Briardell Elementary and the fundraiser have been harmed. The supplementary curriculum and possibly the student development will be harmed if they cannot figure out how to come up with the funds to purchase these materials. Does the action or situation contravene an existing law? Mr. Barely unknowingly broke the law by hosting an event that falls under the technical category of gambling. The school district could be liable for the raffle for the cash event. Section 3, Synthesizing what happened. The parent leader for Briardell Elementary School's fundraiser is arrested for breaking the law unbeknownst to himself or the principal at the beginning of what is projected to be a very successful and competitive fundraiser in the school district. Now let's take a moment to synthesize the facts. We are going to look at the people, place, programs, and some of the unknown facts within this case. Some of the people that are surrounding this case are Mr. Santos, the school principal, Mr. Barely, the foundational leader at Briardell Elementary School, Mr. Morley, a fellow district school leader at a different elementary school within the district, and he is the leader of that foundation group, the tipster. Someone had to have tipped the sheriff to let them know about this fundraiser. The sheriff, the Briardell staff, students and families, and community members. This case took place at Briardell Elementary School, which is in the middle of a diverse community, and the fundraiser took place at a popular building for community events. Other elementary schools in the district also are also competitive with fundraisers. Programs. The elementary school, they really rely on the fundraisers and to raise money for the curriculum for the supplementary programs that support the student development. Let's look at these unknown facts that I would love to have more information on in order to make a better decision. Is this a public school system? I would assume it is because there are at least two elementary schools, and that would make me consider that it is a public school system. However, the case study does not state whether it is. Does the district, county, or state have laws on raffle for cash events? Did Mr. Barley know if there was any laws or policies within the district that he should have been following? Did Mr. Santos look into the laws or the district policies to know what he should have expected his foundation to follow prior to agreeing with a fundraiser? What is the relationship to Mr. Barely and Mr. Morley now? What are their personal and professional relationships? Now let's review and prioritize the information. Could the conflict, the situation, or the decision be damaging to stakeholders or to the community? Absolutely. Where is the money going to go now? What is the rule for a fundraiser that is done incorrectly? Is the money given back? Is it given to the state? Where does that money go? What is the school going to do to support the success of students with curriculum for supplementary programs? Where are they going to find the funds to support these programs if they do not have the fundraising money? What individuals and groups have an important stake in the outcome? Most importantly, the students and the staff of Briardell, Mr. Barely personally, Mr. Santos professionally, and the reputation of Briardell in the community. Right now, all of their reputations are really being thrown out there, and the community, I'm sure, is becoming very opinionated about the outcome of this situation. Have all the relevant stakeholders been consulted? No. I would like to know what the superintendent is aware of in this case. What does he or she know about in the case? What has he or she advised anyone to do? Does that person attend the fundraisers? Do they have a school attorney? Which I'm assuming they do. And if they do, have they consulted the attorney for the legalities of fundraisers? What are the school policies on fundraising? Can I learn more about the situation? Absolutely. There is more contributing factors that I would love to have more knowledge on, such as, are there policies within the district for fundraising? Do I have enough to make a decision? I would love to talk to Mr. Santos, the superintendent, the school attorney, and the sheriff and Mr. Morley, just to get a little bit more background information. I think by doing that, I would be able to fully make a better decision. Now let's identify my options as a principal and what the possible consequences would be of each one of those options. If I was Mr. Santos and the principal within this case, I would look at these three possibilities and decide which one to do. One, I could take no action. By not taking action, I could just let the situation play out however it does. I can let the superintendent and the law and the other stakeholders handle the situation, and I would just do nothing. Another option that I could take is take away fundraising. I could make a public statement on behalf of Briardell. I could take away fundraising from Briardell, and therefore the foundation is gone too. If the superintendent chooses, possibly all fundraisers or foundations are also going to be gone. Briardell and possibly the other schools would need to look at their budget to include an equitable resourcing plan that includes materials for these supplementary classes. Or I do not include supplementary classes and see how they handle things. And option 3 could also be that I work with all stakeholders to create a policy that allows all schools to work together and follow the board policies for fundraising. If I was Mr. Santos, I would make a public statement on behalf of Briardell. The statement could possibly include some remarks from Mr. Briardell if the superintendent did approve. I do feel that he needs the opportunity to apologize to the community as well if he did not know that this was an illegal fundraising procedure to take. If I was Mr. Santos, I would need to gather research from trainings and the attorney so that I am more knowledgeable about the fundraisers and handling of money with school events, especially those that involve the public and consequently support the success of students and staff. I would then need to implement policies for the foundation for future fundraisers at Briardell. If the superintendent is highly involved, I would need to get all principals on board and work together with the foundation to create a district-wide policy. I would then need to meet with the foundation on a regular basis and keep them informed about the laws and policies. Anything that is planned through the foundation would need to be approved through me first, and I would only approve things that are in the policy approved by the Board of Education. Now let's evaluate the options. Option 1, there are no cons in option 1. There are no pros in option 1. However, the cons would be without discussing it with the stakeholders or making any changes, multiple people will remain hurt or feel betrayed in the community. The situation could happen again in the near future. Option 2. The pros are that I would be able to address the public with some explanation. In a roundabout way, without a foundation, there hopefully wouldn't be a scandal like this again. However, the cons of option 2, without fundraising, how will the supplementary programs receive curriculum and therefore support student success? Option 3. The pros are that I would be able to address the public. The district would be able to create policies to allow fundraisers to continue, but with legal guidelines. Some cons, there may be some pushbacks from the foundation to not have policies or help from the administration. The schools might oppose working together. I feel at this time I can make a best choice, and my best option is to work with all stakeholders to create a policy that it allows all schools to work together and follow the board policies for fundraising. This option provides Mr. Santos or myself, if I was the principal, and possibly Mr. Brearley, with the opportunity to publicly address the community and hopefully shed some honest light on the situation that will help mend any broken school community relationships. The foundation will get to continue to host fundraisers. However, we will be provided with legal background and policies and will be informed on what we can and cannot do when it comes to fundraising. Ultimately, the students and staff will benefit from the support of resources for the supplemental classes. I myself, Mr. Santos, can learn from the superintendent, the attorney, and trainings, the law for how to handle future situations with the foundation and fundraisers. Now I will need to implement my decision. I will need to issue a public and sincere explanation to the community and stakeholders. I will need to let them know that I will, in the future, make sure that the foundation and anything going on in my school surrounding fundraisers will be following the laws and the policies within the districts. There will be changes that will be made in order to incorporate those laws. I will need to return the funds that are suggested in a legal manner. I really don't know what the step is with these funds. I will need to consult the attorney and the superintendent to know how to return these funds or what to do with these funds. In that meeting with the superintendent and the attorney and the other principals, we will need to start the practices of creating policies and guidelines for the foundation and any future fundraising. It is important that we all work together and create the guidelines for them to follow in the future, and then we will need to present that to the Board of Education to be approved and put into the district handbook. Principals and possibly foundation leaders need to attend trainings on the legal points about school fundraising and public events. Each principal introduces those policies to the respective foundation. I will need to continue to work closely with my foundation and monitor their plans and events for legal alignment. I will be part of the foundation. I will be making sure that my voice is heard at the foundation meetings and that we are mapping out calendar events together and that we are following all policies and guidelines written in the district handbook in order to make sure that they are all done by our guidelines that we are given. Thank you for listening.